Hello, hello. Whew. Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmie from Emmie Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So, I got nowhere to live stream in the house right now. We're gonna have to do it outside, okay? Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Also for your cross watchers. Also for people who find themselves on this video with no Pisces and you're still resonating. All right, so let us see what is going on. I'm told, like, forget what they say. I don't know who they are. I don't know what they're saying, but forget what they say. Forget it, you know? We don't have to do nothing we don't want to do. If things don't resonate with you, don't do it. Don't participate in it. Don't let people's unrealistic expectations of you force you to comply with things that don't feel right. All right. How are you guys doing today? Yesterday was an interesting shift in energy. That 1111 portal shifted something major yesterday. So I'm wondering if this reading today has to do with encouragement for whatever's going to happen after all of that has shifted. When those types of shifts occur where it's almost like the distortions are taken away. They're shook off. It's almost like conflict is inevitable. People are showing the truth of who they are, what they're there for. It's inevitable. Let them show you who they are. Let them show you the truth of why they're there. Okay? Some people will be there just for whatever they can get. Some people will be there for whatever benefits, whatever convenience. I'd like to think you're at a place now where you're interested in more than just benefits and convenience. You want like actual connection. You want truth. You want a powerful person by your side. Let me just get these three out. And with these types of shifts, you'll see the type of, it's kind of rude to say it, but the type of weakness that other people have. So sometimes the weakness is within you. Sometimes the weakness is in someone else. If you recognize weakness within someone else, that becomes a liability to you. That's a whole different thing than just, you know, they have their own weaknesses. They have their own insecurities that they have to work through. I mean, not everyone you're going to come across has zero insecurities and zero things they're working through. In fact, everyone will have that. But which people have those things that are so intense, so pronounced, that it now becomes an issue for you, okay? All right. Almost done. 2 more decks. Oops. Ooh, see what I'm saying? That final card that popped up. That's what I'm talking about. Yep. That's definitely what I'm talking about. All right. Oh, okay. So here goes. Let's get started. Let's get started. Okay. Scratch my back, my neck. Card number 24. New birth guarded vigilantly. As you go through whatever you're going to go through in order for you to reach higher levels of understanding, a deeper depth of self-knowing, you're going to feel very raw, very vulnerable. And as that happens, there will be people who come up and they'll think this is a time to take advantage of you, that this is the perfect time to, kind of get crooked with you, like the things they say, the things they do, really creating more instability within you. Those people need to go. They need to go. You have your needs, honor your needs. If people can't respect your needs, if people need you to always show up and play some sort of role because that's what they need, forget what you need to cut them out. You really, really do. I don't like to tell people to cut other people out, but yeah, let's not try and dance around what needs to happen for you. Let's just be very blunt and upfront about it. When people are that type of toxicity where their needs always matter before your own, and you're a bad person if you're not fulfilling their needs, you're questionable, like your friendship is questionable, your love is questionable, your loyalty is questionable to your relatives or whatever it is. No, that needs to be done. It just needs to be done, because what ends up happening is you sacrifice yourself in the hopes that other people will recognize the truth of how amazing you actually are. You shouldn't have to go out of your way for people to see how amazing you are. If they can't see it, maybe they're not meant to. Maybe it's time for you to move forward in whatever it is you're doing without them, okay? And that's something you have to think about first. Before you actually do it, that's something you have to think about and make sure that feels right to you. All right, card number 19, dream a beautiful dream. You're at the epicenter of something amazing. You're about to go through quite a few different changes, and those changes won't pan out to be positive if you have negative people around. It won't. It won't, because they'll always put a negative spin on whatever it is you're learning and growing through. And if you look at how the readings have been going, for maybe, I want to say 2 months at this point, maybe 3 months, there's a lot of attempt to breach you. There's a lot of attempt to affect you negatively, to use dark means to access you, to cause conflict within you, conflict around you. That's some real talk right there. If it's resonating, obviously it's not going to resonate for everyone, but that's some real talk right there, where we're needing to recognize the places these things are coming from. Because once you recognize who's doing this, what they're doing, why they're doing it, then you're empowered to make that decision. Is it time for them to go? Is it something that's more of a misunderstanding? But honestly, if a misunderstanding is going to cause you to attack me, and you didn't bother to get it straight from me before you attack me, you need to go. You need to go. I don't know if you guys have people around you who are willing to do that type of behavior or cycles with you, where they'll attack you first before they get the real story or whatever it is from you, the facts from you. They'll just go ahead and do it. No, that's not how it works. Once you attack me, you're out. You're out. There's no, oh, I made a mistake. No, you should ask me first. You should have come to me and you could have been like, bitch, I heard some shit. Okay, well, bitch, I didn't say that. I said this, this, and this. And sometimes it might be a case of you've done things without realizing, and it's been received in a different way. And now they're making assumptions. So communication needs to take place. It actually has to happen. And if it doesn't happen and people are just going to assume whether it's you, whether it's them, nope, that needs to stop. And if that's not going to stop, then there needs to be a separation that occurs. So card number 20, softly, softly, the tender touch. Although this conversation needs to take place, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be combative in your words. You definitely have to be very honest, very upfront, just blunt about it, basically. I mean, I don't know. Some people don't like to be blunt. Some people just, they can't just say things. I'm blunt. I'm just like, look, look, I don't know. You have to decide for yourself. Conversation needs to take place. Okay. I don't know who you need to have conversation with. I'm assuming you're already, if you're resonating with this message, you're already knowing exactly who it is you need to talk to and who this is going on with for you. Okay. So, everything in perfect balance. You have to allow for balance to enter your life. That balance won't enter so long as you're still trying to play roles for people, trying to play parts, and you just have to be who you are. You have to be who you are at this point. With all the shifting that occurred, anyone or anything that's not authentic, it's going to be very easy, very, very easy to see this person for what they are, which is inauthentic. God. Wow. So for some of you, you're dealing with an organic portal. Okay. You're dealing with an organic portal. What this means is this, whoever the individual is, and you're going to know who it is if this pertains to you. They don't really have the capability to rise in their level of consciousness. So what ends up happening is they begin to mimic you. They're taking in quite a bit of your characteristics, like your little mannerisms and stuff like that. They're taking that in, and they're projecting quite a bit onto you. So this is very specific, though. I don't know for how many of you this will resonate, but this has to do with fallen Endarin. Fallen Elder Endarin coding. It just looks like ancient Endarin over here. Gosh, that's such a specific message. Become a loving mirror. It's almost a sense of like manipulation. Like, first off, you don't have to be responsible for other people's behavior. Okay. And secondly, it's not really your job to try and baby other people. It kind of comes with this like message of with the become a loving mirror. To me, it feels like, oh, you're being told that, well, you're not encouraging enough. You have to have enough grace and compassion for the both of you. I don't think that that's always true, though. I really don't. I feel like you have to be very honest with yourself, who you have to have that additional elevated grace and compassion for. Other people, you just don't have to. You don't have to do that for everyone. That's being a martyr. Some people are worth it. Some people are worth that extra effort on your part. And you're going to kind of have to figure out who is and who isn't. It's not really for me to tell you who is and who isn't. But this is information that's coming through where that mirror is distorted. It's almost like this concept of when the child acts up. Well, it's because well, not a child. When an adult acts up, it's because I had a bad childhood. Well, you're not that child no more. You know, you're not that child anymore. So you're now responsible for your decisions. You can't blame your parents for everything forever. So it's kind of like that, where someone doesn't want to take accountability for their own behaviors. They're trying to pass it off onto you. They're trying to mimic you in the way with which they blame you. When I say mimic you, it's like certain terms, certain concepts that maybe you're working through. They're using that because it's going to trigger. It's a form of gaslighting, basically. That's crazy. That's crazy. The key is within you, though. If you're going to allow yourself to be trapped by that bullshit that people say, F what they say anyways. That's what the title is. So sometimes I get people who are upset because I am not like fluffing up the messages. I'm not like, oh, it's gonna be okay. Oh no. Good things are gonna happen. You just have to hang in there. Yeah, because that's not what the cards are telling me. That's not what the cards are telling me. We are existing at a time where gaslighting is just rampant. It's rampant. You see it all over the news. You see it all over social media, just gaslighting. If you can't tolerate it, if you can't find a way to function through it, in it, you're going to have to remove yourself from it. Case in point, I had to deactivate my social media. Only thing that's still active right now is Instagram, my personal social media. Hey, if I can't figure out how to behave myself and that kind of thing, it's not anyone else's job to remain patient with me, to understand that, oh, she's going through something. I mean, I do appreciate that when people understand that my cray-cray is kind of based in some of the stuff that I'm going through, but you're not obligated to do that. So I have to remove myself from that environment so I can figure out how to fucking act right again. So that's the thing. Are you removing yourself from that type of toxic environment, or are you allowing yourself to stay in it, just marinate down to the core? Because, I mean, this is very acidic type thing. It's going to really go through all your layers and levels. It's like the spit from that alien in the movie Alien. It's like acid. You're going to have to decide, what are you going to do with that? Are you going to stay in it, or are you going to remove yourself? Ooh. Some siblings do gaslight. Some, I don't know. I don't know if that's what you meant. Okay. You have to listen to that inner voice. Okay. Listen to yourself. You're talking to yourself quite a bit, but we often don't listen to what our higher self is telling us because we exist in a place of so much obligation. Yeah, you guys, 88% at 8:14. You're not obligated to do anything. You really aren't. You really, really aren't. Just like you're not obligated to be present with me. You're not obligated to support me, encourage me, be patient with me. You're not obligated to do any of that. You're really, really not. Be careful of who you do that for. When you get into that cycle of being overly supportive, overly patient, if you're with an organic portal, if you're doing this for and with an organic portal, they're going to suck you dry. They really just are. They're going to suck you dry because they're always going to have a demand. They're always going to have a want, a need, and you're always going to have to be the one to fulfill that. Is that your job? Is that what you came into this life to do? Or are they brought to you so you can have an opportunity to choose yourself, to recognize that, you know what, right now, I have to choose me. I have to choose myself, my growth. I have to allow myself to really see what this connection is. I have to move forward. Whatever it is you need to converse with yourself about, go ahead and do it. You need to become your own friend. You need to become friendlier with yourself. One of the things that I had been recognizing is that I've become overly dependent on the presence of other people. And this is something that's been going on for maybe the past few weeks, where I'm realizing, like, it's really triggering really old insecurities that I've had, I had as a child, where it's like, no, you're not that child anymore. You're an adult now. You're in your prime. You have to figure this out. You have to feel secure on your own. And people have this misconception that, I'm independent. I'm on my own. I've had to function on my own because I had no choice earlier in life. I had no choice. So there was no other option. And so now that I have a choice, I find myself kind of almost like reliving some of that childhood stuff where, I want to be able to just the fuck is that? I want to just be able to hold on to someone, you know what I mean? Have someone else carry me. So yeah, no, I have my own legs. I have to walk on my own. These are things I have to tell myself. And you might have to tell yourself that as well. Okay. Where it's like you're recognizing some of the ways in which you're allowing toxicity in, just calling yourself out. You don't have to say it in front of other people. You can call yourself out quietly. And by doing that, you learn how to master your life. As you work through the lessons that are present before you right now, as you master those, you'll then create space for new lessons to enter, okay? These new lessons have to be allowed in. Until you're ready for it, it's not going to come forward. And then you'll be stuck in cycles of just repeating the same thing over and over, maybe with different people, maybe with the same people. As long as it keeps repeating, does it even really matter who's participating in it? Not really, because it's the same thing. Okay. Four of Winter, set aside your concerns for now. You can make a decision later. Solutions that come from meditation, the need for more sleep, or a vacation. Wow. Set aside your concerns for now. What if your concerns are nothing more than recordings that play from childhood or young adulthood? One of the things that I had to recognize was that these recordings were recorded to serve me, that I have to allow certain aspects of myself to rise up, to transmute those recordings, turn them into something that empowers me rather than shrinks me. And I don't know if it's just because I have such a rebelliousness within me. Even from childhood, I was very, very controlled in everything that I do, like really, really controlled. Like my entire childhood, I acted basically like an adult with a stick up their ass. Seriously, yeah, no, everything had to be super organized. Everything had to just like so many internal issues that led to external attempts to control my environment. And recordings from that time in my life really, really do a number on me if I allow them to. But when I begin to transmute those recordings into something I can rebel against, because I don't need to fight myself. I don't need to fight my life. Those recordings exist to give me something to fight against. Oh, you're too independent for your own good. Well, yeah, fuck that. I'll be extra independent now. Oh, I don't even remember what the recordings are anymore. That's a powerful thing. When the recordings have served to empower you for so long that you don't even remember the toxicity of them. We all have recordings from earlier life. It could either be childhood, young adulthood, whatever it is. We all have recordings. It can be from your parents, from your siblings, from your extended family, from your relationships. I mean, these recordings happen. They happen. And if you continue to play them without transmuting their purpose into something that elevates you rather than shrinks you, they're going to continue to shrink you. They're going to continue. And you'll come across things that will trigger the remembrance of these things. You definitely will come across things that will trigger it. And that triggering happens for a reason. You have to figure out what that reason is. Card number 9, Hermit. Excuse me. Find or be a mentor. Take a break from society. A commitment to your spiritual growth. Now is the time for you to commit to yourself. But I have to save the world. Well, you are the world. So save yourself. Save yourself from your own toxicity. Save yourself from your own gaslighting. Save yourself from all these ways in which you punish yourself for trying to save yourself. Many, many, many empaths struggle through this all the time, where, you know, if you do something nice for yourself, you now have to punish yourself. If you find ways in which to accept who you are, you now have to find other ways in which you have to reject yourself. Because that's balance. It's not balance. It's not. It's not balance. And this is stuff I used to really, really participate in. It's not balance. It took me a long time to recognize that's not balance. I'm just punishing myself. 82% at 822. Punishing yourself is not a form of loving other people. It's just not. It's not. Empaths often have this struggle, especially Piscean empaths. We have this struggle where it's like, if we succeed and someone else doesn't, well, God, I didn't mean to be happy. I didn't mean to succeed. But why? What's wrong with that? What's wrong with being happy and succeeding just because someone in your life isn't? Are you succeeding to hurt them? Probably not. Don't be the balance. Be the pinnacle in the middle. Timothy's talking about stuff. Timothy's talking about stuff. So the key to your growth is not in the balance. It's in the centeredness. When you exist in center, by virtue of that centeredness, you're already balanced. You don't have to waste your time and your energy attempting to balance your scales, recognizing you are the scale, the center of the scale. Card number 11, Strength. The grace and inner strength needed to overcome challenges, the power of kindness and forgiveness, time to embrace how wonderful you are. Grace and forgiveness for the self is so important. We're all so starved for this. That grace and forgiveness for self. We're very, very capable of doing it for other people, having it for other people, but for ourselves, it's almost impossible. It's just so hard. Until you reach a certain point of elevated consciousness, it's just so hard to give ourselves permission to be ourselves, to allow ourselves to really, really, really be present in our lives. It's painful to be present. It is. It's painful to be present. And I'm not saying it's just painful for me. I'm saying it's painful for empaths to be present, because look at the world we live in. Look at the type of events that happen in this world, day in and day out. If the world is this, like, I don't know. People need to really see at this point. They need to see the kind of world we exist within. Not because you're blind, not because you've been sleeping, but because we've been trained to ignore. Notice how I say we. All of us do this to varying degrees. We all do this. Card number 36, the past. We have to be able to see the past in order to understand, to some level, what we need to do in the future. Because really, the future is now. Yeah. You have to be present, okay? You have to be fully present. You have to allow yourself to see what happened in the past so you can be fully present in the now. When I say see what happened in the past, I'm not saying dwell there. I'm saying recognize, acknowledge, harvest those lessons that you were learning back then. Really allow yourself to know it. So, home. Home. We are finding our way home. Home within ourselves. Someone else is not home. You are your own home. Now, when someone resonates, what are you talking about, Michael? Okay. Michael's saying something about sometimes when your resonance is very similar to someone else, they might mistakenly identify you as home, failing to realize you're just a reflection, an external reflection of their internal residence. Maybe these are things that they're not yet ready to embrace about themselves, and they see it existing within you. And so they can, they can really resonate with you because they see it. So what are you trying to say? Like confirmation for what? I don't even know what you're talking about. He's saying something about it serves as confirmation. The recognition of you as home serves as confirmation for, who are you talking about? He's saying something about an old conversation about home. Like for me personally, I love it when you bring up stuff and then I start asking you questions and you don't freaking answer. He just gets quiet. I don't know if maybe you guys have had a conversation with someone about home, like being home for them. They see you as home, but if you guys have, and they weren't just feeding you a line, that's key. That's key. They have to have not been feeding you a lie. It has to have just come forward as some sort of, I don't know, just like it blurted it out. Didn't mean to, it just came out. That if they can recognize you as home, it's sometimes an indication that they are some sort of counterpart to your soul, I don't know if he's talking to me personally. I can't remember if anyone's ever said that to me. Okay. Anyways, so that's home. Card number 25, Kali, liberation. You are free to get as aggressive as you need to be to free yourself. Free yourself from what? I don't know. It could be another person. Like another person is attempting to dominate you. It could be free yourself from your own mental constructs. I don't know. But you have to free yourself. You have to liberate yourself from the very things that have been keeping you shackled. Oh, that's interesting. Look at that. So she has the most gorgeous adornment over her third eye, but then I see shackles. I see shackles. So it doesn't necessarily mean that there's something nefarious going on, like someone's doing this to you. There's a fucking guy coming here. It doesn't mean someone nefarious is doing this to you. It could mean that you're shackling your own third eye. Okay. A lot of people have felt you were home. You are home to them. I'm like a Motel 6. I'm kidding. Make sure you're not shackling your third eye from actually seeing what's going on. Okay? Just make sure. Things are complicated. Yes, they are. We've complicated it because of our refusal to see what's actually going on. Like you have to allow. You have to allow yourself to really see what's going on in your life. You can't keep putting things in boxes and putting them on the shelves. Like, your shelves have no more space. They have no more space. And then we get all confused because our soul begins to take these boxes off our shelves and dump them out in front of us. He's coming. He's coming. Shit. That's why I don't want to do it. I don't have anywhere to go live in the house, you guys. Hold on. We ain't done. He's coming. Hold on. Oh my God, he's crazy. Shit. Okay. Oh, fuck no, it's wet. I can't go down there. Okay. Okay. He's coming back here. Is there a room that's available in there? Guys, I still had other cards. Where? He doesn't come back here. Not when I'm here. I'm asserting my dominance. Sitting right fucking here. We're not done. We are not done. So. So, assert your dominance. See what I'm saying? Okay. Okay. Things are complicated, but they're not. They're only as complicated as you allow them to be. No, he was actually really nice. The other guy didn't care. He was pissed off, like the other time. He was really nice. I stood up and waved, and he's like, and then he's going to go to the other side. There's a lot of movement that's taking place within you. You have to allow yourself to really, really move around within your own consciousness. If you feel like you have to stay stuck in one place within yourself, that's how you get stuck. If you consistently have to play this role, then what's going to happen to you? You're just going to be an actor or an actress. You can be very, very successful in this. You can be successful with your own journey. Okay. Really? We had two of them. You can be very successful through this process if you allow yourself to really, really travel through all your parts and get to know yourself, get to know all these things that you need to know. Then you can get through it. You can definitely get through it. You can become a version of you that is powerful beyond belief. where you own your life. You own everything that's happening to you. You own all your lessons. Therefore, you now take ownership of all the learning that occurred during those lessons. It's when you try and deny your human history that you end up missing out on the learning that occurred as you were struggling, the learning that occurred as you were hurting. Why do I own everything that's happened in my life, all the details, all my history? Because I already invested so much of my time, my effort, my tears, my pain, my healing in those lessons. You're not going to take the learning away from me. Yes, that happened to me. Yes, I lived through that. That's mine. That's a part of my history. And my ownership of that gives me ownership of the learning that occurred in that moment, in those circumstances that led to that moment. You have to make sure you own your life, your history. So there was here. I'm so grossed out. So grossed out. Okay. Y'all realize how much I love you to have stayed back here twice during that. He was blowing into the air all sorts of nasty shit. Okay. One more. Oh, it's a test. There was a test that happened. The Lovers in reverse. Failure to meet the test. Separation, frustration in love and marriage, interference, fickleness, unwise plans. So when you allow someone enough power to interfere with your lessons, that's an unwise plan. You have to allow yourself to separate from the very people and circumstance that's serving as a distraction and interference. Don't allow others to interfere with your process. Sometimes the interference comes in the form of well-intentions, good intentions, well-intended. Whatever the fuck the saying is. Just because it's a good intention doesn't mean it's a good deed. Because I know plenty of people who have good intentions and execute that intention in a horrible way. Horrible, horrible, horrible. So, I don't know, it feels like, is this something from the past? Page of Swords in reverse. An imposter revealed. Illness is also possible. Powerlessness in the face of stronger forces. Lack of preparation. Ooh, damn. Interference. Separation from an imposter. Hold on. Hold on. Okay. Is the person... Hold on. Okay. I want you guys to ask a question, a yes or no question. I'm going to pull out Bish. The answer is no. Is the imposter who we think it is? No. Whatever. Anyways. I got giddy for a second. They're not an imposter. Whatever. Here. All right. Ace of Pentacles in reverse. Prosperity without happiness, misused wealth, wasted money, corruption by money, miserliness, greed, fool's gold. I wonder, I think for some of you, you were the sacrifice to get that. Like whatever separation occurred because they thought that they could get better, that if they gave you up, I don't know. It's like a weird feeling to this. It's like it's almost this feeling of like punishing you. I don't know who would, if you know someone who you think is punishing you, their decisions might be based in vindictiveness towards you. It might. If you're already thinking that about someone. Let me move this. Travel over land, surveying your kingdom. It's time for you to take a good hard look at what's going on with you and your journey. Okay, you have to make sure that you really, really allow yourself to do some introspection. Like, if you don't know who you are, if you don't know what phase of your journey you're in, the things that people will say to you will really, really fuck you up. It really, really will. It will have such a huge, very, very detrimental effect on you. People can say whatever they want. I have an idea of who I am. People can say whatever they want. I know that I'm not expected by myself to be perfection. I don't always have to be like this performer, where I'm trying to give the appearance of one thing when it's really not. I'm not a magician. I'm not a magician. You kind of you get what you see. I read the cards how they come out. It is what it is. If it resonates, it resonates. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It goes based on the energy of the day. So here we go. The world in reverse, imperfection, failure to complete the tasks one starts, lack of vision. I'm wondering if maybe you're just too hard to deal with. And so whoever's trying whatever they're trying on you, I wonder if they're just going to give up. Imperfection, failure to complete the task one starts. I'm wondering if that's what the message is. Like, just go ahead and keep being your erratic self. It's hard to keep up with something that's erratic. It's hard to negate something. I don't know how to put it. I guess we could put it in the terms of chaos is one of the most powerful forces on earth. Why is that? It's not organized. There's no way to predetermine what it's going to do, the path it's going to take. It's chaos. So if you live a chaotic life, if you're chaotic, it's kind of hard to pin you down. It's kind of hard to know where you're going to be next, to know how you're going to react to whatever is done. Chaos is powerful. Chaos can be confusing to live in. Chaos can be frustrating. But sometimes we end up having chaotic existences for the mere fact that your soul is trying to get you to submit to yourself, instead of always trying to control the outcome, control the brand. There's a lot of like subtleties to the lessons. Getting stronger in oneself after a lot of deliberating and delaying in your life. It's time for you to get stronger in yourself. Okay? Just allow yourself to really, really become empowered. Oh, death of a situation or endings, new beginnings. Transformation, clearing away the old to make way for the new, unexpected change, alteration, the ending of a familiar situation or friendship, financial loss, beginning of a new era. It's the beginning of a new era. It really is. A new era for the world and a new era for yourself. You can't continue to exist in the same way you've always existed if you're trying to enter a new way of being. And if you're entering a new way of being, your old solutions will no longer be applicable. Your old coping mechanisms, all those old ways in which you would medicate your hurts, that's no longer going to work for you. And so long as you continue to participate in those old coping mechanisms, you probably will end up suffering more and more. And not necessarily because someone is making you suffer, someone is intending for your suffering. More likely because you're refusing to give into your own soul. And when you do that, yeah, it's your soul, but you're never going to win against it. I've tried many times. You're never going to win that fight. Sometimes your soul will just kind of like play along for a little bit just because it can. But eventually, when it gets tired of being patient, you'll get dragged by your own soul. Okay. And if people don't want to hear that, then you don't want to hear the truth. Well, no, soul is like clouds and peaceful. And no, you're talking about divinity. No, souls are a higher expression of you. You're a lower expression of your soul, one that has flawed logic. This applies to me as well. I have flawed logic in comparison to the logic of my soul. And me trying to fight my processes, it's been a doozy. It really has. It's been a total doozy. You think you're going to win against that? By all means, go ahead and try. I'm not going to stop you. I'm not going to stop you. I'm going to go ahead and pop my popcorn. Promise. You'll message me in like 3 months or so. Oh my God, you're so right. My soul dragged me. I was being so stupid. No, you're just being defiant. Defiance isn't a bad thing. But it becomes detrimental when you're trying to defy something so much more powerful than you, like a soul. You're not going to win that. So, all right. 7 of Swords in reverse. Arguments, uncertain counsel or advice, circumspection, slander. This could be that you're arguing with yourself. It could be that you're looking for someone else to tell you things that contradict what you know so that you can have you can have an excuse to ignore your soul, to ignore the guidance. That's going to create a lot of conflict within you. A lot. Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Stagnation, inertia, lack of determination or direction, narrow-mindedness, idleness. So with a narrow-mindedness, if you think that you know how your life is supposed to go, okay, I'm not going to argue with you. It's good to have some ideas of what you'd like, some goals that you want to achieve. But if you're going to be so narrow-minded that you think there's only one path that you're supposed to be on, that there's not going to be any detours, that path has to look and feel a certain way, then, okay. So there's also the stagnation, inertia, lack of determination or direction, the idleness because you're waiting for someone else outside of you to tell you what to do. Well, Emmie, you just said, yeah, your soul is not outside of you is the thing. Your soul is not outside of you. So you have to listen to the soul, not to other people. There will be people. He's wearing an apron. I love it. I love it. My husband's been playing chef for a few days. There will be people who will be brought to you to give you snippets of what your soul is telling you. And you can feel it. It'll resonate in a different place than when other people talk to you. It'll just resonate. It'll feel like truth to you. So there's a difference between the feelings of truth and the feeling of I don't want to believe that it's true, and this person is telling me that it's not true, so maybe it's not true. There's a difference in those things. Okay. Huge difference. Huge difference. Okay. Let's see. Star in reverse. Disappointment, pessimism, bad luck, lack of opportunity, stubbornness, and imbalance. Well, if you're stubborn, you will have lack of opportunity. It will create disappointment. Are you creating your own disappointment? Is it because you see the potential in someone and they're failing to choose to rise up and tap into their potential? Pisceans and empaths in general have a tendency to try and make projects out of people where, you know, you see their potential, so you're going to force them to reach that potential. A lot of people don't choose to reach their potential in this lifetime. It's just kind of the sad reality of it. A lot of people will not choose their potential, and we have to be okay with that. It's not our job to force people to live up to the greatness that you see them to be. Don't disappoint yourself by trying to interfere in someone else's journey, okay? Some people will reach that potential, just not with you. Ooh, that sounded harsh, huh? I said that all matter of fact. I hope that didn't hurt your feelings. I don't mean that you're just not enough. Some people just won't be ready to. They have to wait until they live through more really elevated life circumstance before they can grasp what you're trying to tell them. Until someone has lived enough to know, to understand the words you're saying, they're not going to understand the words you're saying. Reversal of bad trend, new interest in matters, overcoming ruin, disharmony in marriage or love interest. So you can get through this. You really can. You can get through this. You can get past it. You can grow. You can have all these amazing things happen to you, for you, with you. You just have to choose to reassess what's your priority. What is your priority? Your growth or someone else's? Your health and wellness or someone else's? Like, yeah, I'll work on myself, but first I have to help so-and-so. Do they need help, or are you just using them as an excuse to not work on yourself? It goes back to this knowing that when I have to get work done, I suddenly want to clean everything. It's true. All the things that I didn't want to do, suddenly I need to do it now. Suddenly I now need to make sure that the closet's organized, and you have to make sure you're not just making excuses to deny your own growth, your own process. So I hope this message helps to give clarity for whoever needed it. Sorry for all the interruptions. It's been nothing but interruptions. All right, guys, if you could give this video a thumbs up, please do. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. Join me when I'm live. I think I'll probably be doing a Blu-ray reading sometime later today. And for those of you who have subscribed to the text notification, expect some goodies in that notification later today. All right, guys, I gotta get 55% at 8:55. Time to go. Love you guys. Bye.